So suppose that in this container I have 1,000 milliliters of water. But we'll just use our imaginations and pretend that in this very container I have all of the water on planet Earth. All of it. And what we're going to do is take a look at how much water exists in different parts of the world. Where is most of the water on our planet found? What do you guys think? Well, as some of you might know, the Earth is 70% of water. Most of that water is actually found in our oceans. So that means that most of this water is actually quite salty and too salty for us even to use as people. So we can't drink it, you really wouldn't want to wash your clothes in it or cook with this water because it's so salty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour out the amount of water on our planet that we would consider fresh. So the total amount of water on our planet right here in my hand, and most of this is very salty. 97% of our water is really salty. So right now, I will pour out the amount of water on our planet that would be fresh. And that would be all of this right here. So if you compare these two containers, the fresh water is really, really limited compared to the total water that I have here, which would be 97% salt and 3% of our Earth's water is fresh. Now, the trouble is where is most of our fresh water found? Well, you'd have to look at some of the more northern and southern parts of the globe to figure this out, but much of our Earth's water is actually frozen in ice caps and in glaciers at the North and South Pole and other northern latitudes. So we can't do very much with this frozen water, and we can only use the non-frozen fresh stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour out of our freshwater container just the amount that's not frozen, because we wouldn't really want to mess around with all that ice. We just want the water. So I'm going to pour that out now, and it's a really small amount, and it would be that much. So I started with 1,000 milliliters, and I poured out 30, which would be 3%, showing our Earth's fresh water. And then of that container, I poured out 6 milliliters, which amounts to 0.6%, or 0.6 of a percentage. This is the amount of water on our planet that is fresh, not frozen, so that we could actually think about using it. Now, where do you guys think that a lot of this not frozen fresh water would be? Well, it would be in some of the places that we already talked about in our watershed. Lakes, dams, rivers, creeks, streams, other places that would be maybe on the surface or even underground aquifers that would contain a lot of our fresh water. So, unfortunately, some of this 0.6% of fresh water is way too deep underground for us to get to and to use, or it might have been polluted by some of the things we talked about before, pollutants in our watershed, or animals, or other things like that. So now, I'm going to take out the amount of water from our Earth's water supply that is actually not frozen, clean, fresh, and accessible in a place that we can get to it. And so there really would be just about one drop. That one little drop represents all of the Earth's global drinking water supply. A really, really minuscule amount for what we consider to be the blue planet that has this renewable resource. Although water might be a renewable resource, there's really only a little amount that's available for us to use and that we need to take really good care of. Not everyone in the world has clean water to use, and so you're very lucky if you do. So I'll put some of those statistics up on the board that we just talked about and check into this yourself later. Much of this water is salt, some of this could be up in the clouds in the atmosphere, and some of it could be really deep underground. So it's really interesting what goes into our water, but I want you guys to be especially concerned not only about those pollutants, but how much water you use at home. So we have just a couple things left to do to talk about that, but I want you guys to think about different ways that you can save water at home. Now, there's all sorts of things you can do, from taking shorter showers, even just a minute or two less will save a whole lot of water. If you have a pathway or a walkway in front of your house that sometimes people wash with hoses to get all the debris off of their walkway, just take a broom and sweep it instead. That'll save many gallons of water. Also, when you're brushing your teeth at home, or washing your dishes, or rinsing your vegetables, washing your hands even, make sure that you're not leaving your faucet running so that you're not wasting any extra water that you're not using. The couple other things on here that I said would be to make sure that your laundry machine is totally full, or that your dishwasher is completely full before you start running it, because that would contain, one of those loads uses 40 or so gallons of water. So you don't want to run the laundry machine with just one or two shirts in it. Make sure you go around the house and collect up all the towels and things that you can find that will help save a lot of water. So all of those things will really help. And then the final thing you could do would be to install water-saving devices around your house, like low-flow shower heads, sink aerators, and even one more device that we are going to build right now. And it only takes a second, and you already have many of the materials that you need to build this water-saving device. So this time, you need an empty water bottle, and don't cut the bottom off this one. We want this one whole this time. And if you have any leftover sand or gravel, you're going to want to use that as well. I'm going to take a piece of paper to fold into a funnel so that I don't get sand all over the place. And I've kind of made a cone shape out of it, and I'm just going to stick it in the neck of the water bottle right here. And then with my extra playground sand that I have left over, I'm going to pour that into my homemade filter just to give it some weight. Because we want this to be heavy, we want it to sink in water. So that is probably plenty right there. That is all you will need for your new water-saving device. So I put some sand in there, but you could use marbles or gravel or anything heavy. Dirt is just fine. Then you're going to go ahead and fill the rest of it with water so that it's totally full. And what we're making now is what's called a toilet displacement device. So it's a really fancy name for a really simple invention. Go ahead and put the cap back on your new water-saving device. And when you're done with today's class, all you're going to do is take this to your toilet, and all toilets have a filling compartment on the top, many of them do, and ask your parents for help in lifting the cover off the top upper part of your toilet. And it should be full of water with some valves and things in there, but you're just going to want to place this off to the side and sink it in that water. Some people used to do this with a brick, but this is a much safer way. Go ahead and sink your water bottle in the corner of your toilet, put the cover back on, and then go ahead and use your toilet as you regularly would. So that way, when you flush your toilet and it refills, it's going to refill around this and fill up to the proper amount that you need to flush your waste away. And you will have saved at least 16 ounces worth of water every time you flush your toilet, which will translate into lots of money saved on your water bill and hopefully will help out your watershed a whole lot. If we all started saving water in our toilets and our showers, our watersheds would be much healthier places. That about concludes our watersheds and wetlands class today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, and I hope you get the chance to experience your watershed a bit more, maybe visit a national wildlife refuge or two. And I'd like to thank you guys for taking part in Science Castle. And I'd also like to thank our supporters, the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, the City of San Jose, and the San Francisco Bay Wildlife Society. So, happy trails, and hopefully I will see you guys again in the future. Take care.